This podcast may contain adult themes and triggering topics. Please be kind to yourself if you get triggered by what we discuss.
Also, this isn't a substitute for therapy or counseling. Please listen to the appendix at the end for some of our recommendations for resources that will help you find a qualified mental health care provider.
Now, we take you to a time in the near future where emotional abuse has been appropriately deemed a crime, and the survivors find a home to reclaim their lives and freedom. This is Haven, and these are the stories of the reclaimers.
They're all in the conference room.
Yes.
And you're certain she didn't see the Kari appearance?
Addie said they were avoiding the live streams. Persy has no idea Kari was even on the news, let alone what she said. Listen, the nerves aren't going to help. Can you do some Tai Chi or something?
Both of you need to calm down.
Is this really going to work?
Yes. Maybe. I don't know.
Yes, it will work. Would you like to know why?
Why?
Because you both care. You care about Persy and the Haven. Even if today doesn't go the way you hope, it will still work to benefit the survivor because you care. So see her as another survivor. Both of you are trained advocates. What do you do before a session when you've got nerves?
I'm not really doing sessions now.
Well, when you did have sessions, what did you do to calm your nerves?
I'd focus on what the survivor needs.
And you did that. This is what this survivor needs. She's been irrationally attached to silence for so long that she can't even see herself as a survivor anymore.
Is this supposed to make us feel better?
Percy's already at the lowest I've seen her. You really can't make it worse.
Westlee, that is the weirdest and most effective means of making me feel better.
They're in the building.
Should we go in the conference room?
No. I want to take her in after we've had a chance to talk.
Phoenix, just tell me what's going on. All of you have been acting weird, and...
Oh, hi, Persy.
And here's Sonia, and Truman, and Westlee, all hanging out in the hall.
Hi.
Should we wait for Addie?
Addie?
Yes. Don't you need the partner present for an intervention?
It's not an intervention. We
have some people we want you to meet.
Truman, I hope you're getting the gratitude, because I am so very grateful. Whatever this is, all of you are so kind, and you've been so supportive. More supportive than I deserve.
Persy, I think you need
No arguments. I know you want me to feel like I can do this, and I'm just tired of everything being about... Y'all need a break. You need to care about you. I've resigned, and we need to get the focus back on the survivors.
Couldn't agree more.
We know you, Persy, and you hate it when we talk about you like you're not here. Why is that?
Why indeed? Could it be that you can't handle it when you're not in charge?
I'll give you that one. I really hate not being in charge.
But there's more. It's not just in charge. You really, really hate it when you can't have an impact.
Okay, you've got me. And I feel uncomfortable.
It's gonna get worse here in a minute. Shall we go in? Persy, this is Dana.
Hi. Hello, Dr. Colossi.
Please, call me Persy.
Persy, I've been watching the inquiry on the live stream. I'm sorry about the other day. It didn't seem to go too well.
No, it didn't. Thank you. Do I know you?
We've never met, but I know who you are. I read your paper when I was a student at Yale.
Yale. Wait, when did you go to Yale?
She's not going to answer that yet.
And you know this gentleman.
Hiya, Persy.
What are you doing here?
Bear hug.
Oh, you still give the best hugs. I'm so pleased to see you. I hadn't heard you were in Washington. What are you even doing?
Hold that thought. We have one more right now. This is Joan.
Hi, Persy.
Hello.
Joan was a law student turned poli-sci major. She did a summer as a speechwriting intern for the Massachusetts senatorial campaign.
With the now Senator Daniels.
Hey, you're getting it.
Oh, Sonia, you're a gem.
Only my best for you, Persy.
Okay, what is this?
We wanted to have a talk with you and with all of these survivors.
Survivors?
Every person here survived coercive control and emotional abuse from Mycroft Daniels.
And none of them can report what he did because it wasn't illegal when he did it.
All of you? Even Trip? You? Why didn't you tell me?
He didn't contact me until after I'd stopped therapy. He reached out a couple weeks after yours and my last session.
He reached out? To you?
That, Persy, that. What's that thought?
I am very angry right now.
Angry at who?
Mycroft.
I didn't think it would work this fast, Pheeny. She's almost enraged.
Anger is only the first step. We've got to keep going.
Trip, do you mind sharing what he said when he contacted you?
He just said that he wanted to check in on my experience with the psych department at Johns Hopkins. Did I receive quality care, and would I mind a few follow-up visits?
And did you? Mind?
Well, yeah, but he sounded so official. I felt kind of obligated. Plus, he said he was a senator. It sounded important.
Right? He hates it when you call him anything other than senator.
Unless you're one of his assistants. They all call him Mycroft.
Do they?
Trip, how were the sessions?
The first couple were okay. He had a plan set up and everything. He wanted to talk about my relationship with my dad.
Did he?
What did he want to discuss?
He was pretty sure I had an attachment disorder. That I struggled with issues of abandonment.
Trip, I never knew he said that. I'm so sorry.
It's okay, Persy. He made me think all that stuff, and for a long time, I had trouble with relationships.
And you don't now?
Nah. I met this amazing woman, and we started dating, and all the stuff the senator said just wasn't true. It was easy to commit to her. It was easy to love her. And we got married.
You're married? Congratulations, Trip. That makes me so happy.
Yeah, we've got 3 kids. Here.
Oh my goodness. Your little boy looks just like you.
Oh. Yeah, he does.
Trip, your face just looks sad.
I had these nightmares after I saw the senator. And, well, since the inquiry started, I've been having them again. Now the nightmares are about me losing my little boy, watching him walk away from me.
Trip, that overwhelms you with grief and sadness. I'm so sorry.
Why do you think you're having the nightmares again, Trip?
My partner thinks it's all on account of seeing the senator on the live stream again. Just brings it all back. The fear and the anxiety.
I have nightmares too. Is that okay to say?
Do you?
How many of you have nightmares?
I don't have nightmares, but I don't really sleep.
I don't sleep either.
Persy, do you remember Helena?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, Sephi.
Oh, please don't call me that.
He did that to you too, huh?
Too. What did he call you?
Lena. I hated it.
What should I call you?
Helena. You?
Percy. Thanks.
Percy. Okay. When Truman told me what this was about, I wasn't sure you'd want me here.
Well, when I saw you, I was shocked you'd want to be here.
How do you two know each other?
Percy replaced me as Mycroft's favorite.
I'm really sorry about that, Helena. I wish I'd known how difficult he made that for you.
Can't do anything about it now, right?
He did that replacing thing all the time with the interns. If I got a word wrong, if I got careless.
Yeah.
That word.
Careless?
Yes. He made it seem like I was trying to be mean to him or something.
Careless means you just don't care.
Ugh, I'm getting triggered just thinking about his face whenever he said that.
Did he ever do that thing where he'd find something you wrote and then make you rewrite and rewrite and rewrite?
Ugh, days of not sleeping and rewrites.
Right, and then he'd choose the line you wrote originally and make you think he created it.
Did he ever take something you said and put it in one of his speeches?
Yes.
Trip?
There was a few times I'd say something to him, and then a couple sessions later he'd say it back to me like he invented it or something. He made me feel kind of dumb.
He'd use quotes from Percy's reform paper in his lesson plans.
I wondered about that.
It got worse after she left. He'd quote it all the time without attribution.
How did you get away, Helena? Was it graduation?
No, I stayed with him through grad school, over at Yale.
You did, so, all of grad school with him?
Yeah, I didn't really have a lot of options for leaving. Not all of us got offered full rides to Stanford.
How many of you felt like you didn't have options about leaving?
Yeah. He told me I'd never get work as a therapist if I didn't pass his class.
Oh yeah, he told me. Sorry. It's still really emotional.
You don't have to share if you don't want to.
No, it's okay. He told me when he fired me that he intended to make sure I never wrote another speech ever again.
Somehow, he always made me feel like I wasn't giving him what he wanted. I'm not even sure how he did that.
He built me up so much in the beginning, but by the end of the semester, I couldn't do anything right.
Did he ever tell you that he just couldn't handle reassuring you anymore?
Oh yeah, all the time. One time, I just wanted to know if I should have dinner ordered and delivered. He lost it. So angry. I felt so bad that I started to cry. And he said I was unprofessional and that he didn't have time to make me feel better.
But when you try to leave, ooh, no. He'd get in a rage that was worse than anything. I tried to drop his abnormal psych class. He turned it into this huge fight.
I tried to quit once. It was right after he hired Demi. I figured he had the two of you, Persy. What did he need me for?
What happened?
He said he always knew I was a quitter.
Whenever he said that to me, it worked to keep me. I hated to think of myself as a quitter.
I thought he only said that to me.
He told you were a quitter?
Yeah. I started dating my wife, and things were going really well. And I'd said I wanted to slow down meeting with him to once a month. And he just said it meant I needed to ramp things up.
If you excuse me for a minute.
Persy?
I can't breathe. Trip was in such a good place when we entered therapy.
You okay?
I don't know.
Here, drink some water.
Yes, okay. Thank you. Truman, you were right. I'm more than uncomfortable. I'm too angry to breathe. All these people, all this time, they've had to deal with this, the pain and the broadcasts. And they're blaming him, but...
They're blaming themselves, too.
Yes. Truman, were you hoping that this stunt would just make me report Mycroft? Because first, that's not going to work. And second, that's antithetical to everything the Haven stands for.
No, Persy, I would never. I wanted you to remember what it felt like to be empowered by your anger, rather than drowning in it. It's time for you to reconnect with that empowerment.
More examples of failure, huh?
Sort of. But when I explained it to Pheeny, he said it best. Tell her what you said.
We just really want to see you stand up and do for yourself what you've done for so many others.
What's that?
Let yourself be the worst possible survivor. Be truly horrible at containing your emotions. Give yourself permission to want Daniels gone. Hate him for what he's doing to you, not yourself for how you tried to cope with what he did.
The worst, huh?
Yeah, the worst. Listen, I've got an idea. Come back in for a minute, okay?
All right. You get 1 minute. 1.
I know. I'm a punk.
Persy, you okay?
Yeah. Helena. Thank you.
We gotta stick together. This doesn't get better when we're alone.
That's right, Helena. And that's part of why we've brought you all here together. You've all been hurt by Daniels, and he hurt you in ways that make it difficult to describe what happened. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yes.
What is it, do you think, that makes it indescribable?
That it's invisible? That no one could see?
Tiny little cuts, but millions of them over time.
He hid it. He never said horrible things in front of other people. He was always so nice in public.
He made me question myself. He made me question everything about my thoughts, everything about who I was.
He made me think I deserved what he did. He made me think I was unlovable, that he was doing me a favor by loving me.
I'm so sorry. The grief and sadness that brings up.
And when I say that he'll never be reported, never be caught...
Truman, 1 minute.
I know he's doing this to other people. That hurts so much to think of how he's just making people think he's this good person and drawing more and more people in.
I get really panicked when I think about that, really panicked. What if he comes back? I had to work so hard to find another job. What if he finds me there?
What if someone didn't have the work you and I did together before they met him? Persy, I wouldn't have recovered. I wouldn't have met my wife. My little boy wouldn't have been born. I'm freaked out just thinking about that.
If only someone had a talent or skill that could give them relief and let them know how to calm themselves.
Worst punk ever. Please, everyone, take a deep breath.
Whoa. I love it when she does that.
Does anyone else feel like they could just rest?
What was that?
You gotta tell us what you just did, Persy.
Because of my telepathy, Mycroft trained me how to use my gift to affect others. And at first, I didn't know how to control it. But then he...
Persy, you're doing great. Keep going. It's okay to say it out loud.
Pheeny. Pheeny.
Is she describing part of the abuse out loud to a group of strangers?
To a group of fellow survivors, peers, and yes,
He made me think I was some sort of loose cannon. Someone to be handled because of my gift. And I just wanted to prove him wrong. So I had to learn how to use my gift to weave. It's something we call a calm wave. Many people at the Haven can do it. But for me, I can do it for whole groups of people.
All at the same time?
Yes.
Damn, Persy. I didn't know you could do that.
Guess I never had to use it with you, Trip.
Guess so. Still, it's pretty cool.
I still feel calm, loved, even blissful.
Truman, they're ready.
Who?
we're going to take our leave of you right now, but we've got a couple of advocates on standby in case you'd like to keep talking. Thank you for your time today. Persy, will you come with us?
Yeah. Okay. Please, all of you, feel free to stay. Have the advos show you around. I'd love to come back and chat with you before you have to leave today.
Of course. I'll for sure stick around and we can talk.
Thank you. I'd love that.
Persy? Wait. I had no idea he pushed you that hard. Hard enough that you could impact a whole room of people? I'm just devastated to hear he did that.
Thanks, Helena.
Helena, why don't you come with us to Percy's office?
What are you doing?
It's good. Remember Rose and Jenna pairing survivors?
Oh, yeah, good thinking.
Wait, before we go in, I just want you to know who's waiting in there.
Sonia, I thought there was only...
This is a kind of surprise. It's not going to seem like a good surprise at first, but I need you to trust me, okay?
Sonia, Okay.
This just got way more exciting.
Hi, Pheeny. Persy.
Hi. Hey, Ben, and Senator Alcorn, and Senator Gold, together with Ben. Hi. Sonia?
Okay, so first, Gold isn't here as a survivor, but she's part of the plan. And second, I need to let Alcorn talk.
This is thrilling. We should do this all the time.
Or not. Maybe just the normal don't freak Pheeny out times.
Yes, I also prefer those times.
Hello. When Sonia approached Gold and me with her plan, I was grateful. It's about time someone found a way to take this... Westlee, what's the insult you're using today?
Daniels is a teeny tiny little brat-faced scalawag.
Brat-faced scalawag. Best yet. It's damn time someone found a way to take this brat-faced scalawag down. For good. I don't really share things, but I wanted to share with all of you something that Percy's known for quite some time.
We can hear whatever you'd like to share.
I am one of Mycroft's victims, too.
I know, right?
I never told anyone because, like Persy, I have a lot riding on keeping Mycroft's secrets, but that stops today, thanks to Ben.
When Kari went on the news last night...
Kari? Kari was on the news? You know where she is.
Yeah, Persy. Kari went on the news to tell everyone, just everyone in the whole world, that Daniels didn't get her permission to file that declaration.
Huge. Big mistake on Daniel's part. The Empath Council is so going to address your heightened indicted status at the next session. Not to mention Daniel's filing a false document.
And I'm here to make sure they do.
Kari said that she did.
She didn't write it. She didn't agree to have it signed for her, so it can't be filed as hers.
That's one victim statement down.
I can't believe Kari did that. Why did she do that?
Well, because I asked Ben to see if she'd do it on live stream.
You talked to her?
He actually talks to her all the time.
What?
Ben is Kari's brother.
Where is the popcorn when I need it? My stars, you're just full of surprises today, Sonia.
Yeah, it feels good. Persy, Ben found me because he wanted to tell me that Kari didn't mean it. She watched the live stream and what Daniels did, and she wanted us to know she didn't sign it.
Only one victim statement left.
I believe I can take the other victim statement off the table.
What? How? Dawn, no.
I'm getting that. What is that, Persy?
It's all the emotion about this giant double bind she's been in for far too long. And if I testify, I can end the double bind for good.
You'll be ending your career for good.
Yes.
And it won't work. He still has.
It still has what? What are you two talking about?
He has what he had before. Dawn, we can't. It won't work.
Persy, ask Ben about the other reason why he's here.
Ben?
Mycroft had me going through stuff all the time to find stuff about you, Persy. He had so much information on you, all your press interviews and case files, everything he could get his hands on, and he has this giant vault on his home drive. And after the discard, the breakup, whatever, I was going through everything and I found some pictures.
Show her.
These are pictures of the encampment. These are pictures of the recruits.
Yeah. And there's this whole file attached to it. It's a list of you and your caseload, and then there's all this other information. So I asked Sonia about it, and she said we should talk to Dawn.
Ben's trauma bonded, Persephone. Like winter break trauma bonded.
You remember that?
Look at him. He's like a ghost. He's barely here. He's in so much pain. How could I not remember what that was like for...
He's also been ruminating and going over everything.
Like my advocate taught me. Sort it out, right? It was the only tool I remembered.
So as he was going through all the things on the drive, he found
the addenda, Persy.
He what? Ben, Dawn, you're certain that this is the addenda from the encampment?
I opened it when I first found it. I could open it again.
No. Don't open it now. Just leave it. I'll have our tech team open it. They can be sure it's safe. And do you have any idea what you've just given me?
I just wanted to help. I just wanted to bring something. I know I don't deserve... after everything I've done,
Yes, you helped. You brought something. Something very, very good. And trauma bonds make people do very stupid things. Very, very stupid things.
Persy, if he opened something traceable...
Right. Ben, very bad people have been looking for that addenda for a very long time. And because you've opened it, they may know you have it.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what Deep Black is?
No.
It's an intelligence level protection for covert agents and their families. It's something only a legislative member or above can coordinate. Senator Gold? Amelia, are you on today's code list?
Yes, and I'd be happy to use it. Just tell me who.
Thank you. Ben, Kari isn't safe.
She's not? Oh no, because of this? Because of me? I can't lose her again. I need to go save her.
Stay with me.
Wow. That calmwave wave was even bigger than the first. Darn you, Persy.
She just did that twice in one day.
Twice in 1 hour.
Ben, what's Kari's little boy's name?
Gershwin.
Amelia, you got that?
Yep. Sending the info to my team.
I think you should take Helena, too.
What? Take me? Where?
Somewhere safe. I'm sorry, you and Ben aren't frequent visitors here. Someone dangerous could find that suspicious. Ben, I need you to go with Gold and do whatever she tells you to do, okay? I need you to get Kari and little Gershwin as fast as you can. Amelia's going to get you somewhere safe. Alcorn, you got the addenda? Do you remember the encoding?
Maybe. Wait, Persy, it's still got you as the imprint.
That will help the tech team, for sure. Here, imprinted. There you go.
I'm taking this down to the tech lab. We'll get it safely verified.
Ben, I need you to promise me that you'll stay in Deep Black. Amelia's also going to bring you an advocate. Pheeny, did you get that?
Yes, Jeanette can go. She just confirmed.
Good, thank you. Ben, Gold is going to bring you Jeanette so that you and Kari can start working on the tools. Focus on the tools.
All right. We're good to go. I've got transports waiting.
Brilliant, thank you. Ben, I got that terror. So I'm going to make you 2 promises.
Okay. What's that?
When it's safe to come back, when you and Kari can be safe, I'll come get you.
You?
Yes, me personally.
Okay. And the second?
Oh, Truman, are you getting that?
Wow, yes.
The moment, and I mean the very second Gold confirms that you and Kari and Gershwin and the others are safe, and I'm talking about full-on Deep Black in a Fort Knox bunker where the president herself can barely find you safe.
Wait for it.
That very moment, I'm going to go into that hearing room with Pheeny on one side and Alcorn on the other, and I am going to eviscerate Mycroft Daniels. Just you watch how I take that man down.
Holy shit, this is awesome.
I don't think this is a calm wave anymore.
Persy, I want to...
You have things to fix, and people to apologize to, but not to me. The moment I learned who your abuser was, that's the moment I forgave you. Because I know what it feels like to be his target. I forgave you.
I don't know what to say.
You don't have to say anything. If my old friend Persephone Stubborn says someone's about to get taken down, Daniels has no idea the hell that's coming to him.
Now go. Gold, go.
Persy, it's good to see you running an operation again.
Thank you. Be safe. See you soon.
Where are they?
They'll be here. Keep pacing. You've got a really awesome rhythm.
Are you making fun of me?
I'm making fun near you.
You're way too happy.
It worked, Sonia. We planned a strategy based on a survivor's need, and it worked.
It did, didn't it?
And now, we're about to go in there and take him down.
Was it the strategy, or was it what Ben brought? There was something about that. It was like a nuclear version of a calm wave when she saw it. Do you know what it was?
No clue.
And Alcorn is one of Daniel's victims? Do you think they dated or something?
I thought he was gay.
Personality disorder? Cluster bees don't have sex to connect. They get pretend romantic with people who give them supply. It's about control, not attraction.
Okay, true. Still, Alcorn and Daniels, I just can't see it.
I wonder who her advo will be.
Huh, I hadn't thought of that. If she agrees to be at the Haven.
She and Persy seem close.
All right, we are here.
We?
Damn, I beat Alcorn here?
You had Alcorn? That's a good sign, right? Did you have Gold, too?
Percy's got Gold.
I've got Truman.
I've got nerves. This is way more terrifying than when I testified.
You're terrified. You don't have to argue procedure with Everett.
I like Everett. And didn't Alcorn herself write the motion last night?
She did.
I can see why Pheeny's scared of her. She is a monolith.
She's fun.
Westlee, you're scared of arguing procedure with Everett, but Alcorn doesn't bother you?
Everett's got layers. Stuff I can't read. Alcorn's an open book. She just says what she feels.
The more time I spend with you, the more I realize you've got life figured out, don't you, Westlee?
You do too, Sonia. You just haven't admitted it to yourself. Also, someday soon, you're going to finally admit that what you label as incompetence is really a finely tuned intuition. I predict that when you do admit that and unleash that superpower on the world, you'll be famous for it.
Topic change.
Okay, I'm here. Gold's inside.
Then it worked?
Yes, we've got everyone where they should be. Gold's got the question list. Westlee's going to make them motions.
Oh my goodness, we are so gonna do this!
It's kind of exciting.
Is this what it was like for you when you started hearings for the justice reform?
A little. You do remind me of Phoenix.
Oh, yeah? All about the lists?
No, devoted, strong, unaware of how strong you really are.
Senator, are you all right? Do you need anything?
Mr. Guthrie, that is one of the kindest questions I've been asked in weeks. Few people think I need things.
Yeah, well, the strongest oaks need the most care.
Persephone told me you were wise. No, I need nothing for myself right now. I need for Persephone to breathe. I need for Daniels to go away. I need the Haven to be fully funded so I can end my career with a legacy.
I have a plan for how you can keep your Senate seat, Dawn.
No, I'd rather go out fighting.
Woe unto the wicked.
Excuse me?
It's a quote from my favorite book. Woe unto the wicked.
Is it Quixote?
Yes. I was just reminded, a holy endeavor is now to begin, and virtue shall triumph at last.
I need triumph. That's what I need. I need virtue to triumph.
Persy and Pheeny are inside. Let's see if we can find that virtue in there. Before we begin, Mr. Chairperson, I have 2 matters to put before the committee.
Yes, Miss Lynn?
The first is a rebuttal to the declaration and motion filed by Senator Daniels in our last session.
Point of order, Mr. Chairperson.
No point of order. The senator is not allowed to interrupt the acting agent of the witness. As Dr. Colasi is on the stand and I have matters to present, interruptions are not permitted.
So ordered. Senator Daniels, please refrain. Miss Lynn, you are permitted to submit the rebuttal in motion form if you have it.
Yes, we just submitted via VidCon to the Empath Council.
And the grounds for the rebuttal?
Both witnesses have redacted their declarations.
Both?
That's not even possible!
Which was our second order of business, but we'll get to that in a moment. Members of the committee, you will see that the first victim, known to the court as KH, redacted her statement in a live stream on Saturday evening just 3 nights ago. She states there in her own words that she gave no permission to have this declaration submitted to the court and that she disagrees with the content of the declaration to begin with. So we've prepared a new declaration that contradicts the one filed by Senator Daniels.
Ooh, he is so angry.
This is the most fun I've had in a long time. He's completely outgunned. Persy, Alcorn, and Westlee don't stand a chance.
So entered. And your second matter?
This has to do with the identity of the witness known to the court as MR and the circumstances surrounding how the declaration was obtained. Senator Don Alcorn has evidence regarding the statement of this witness that we'd like considered before that declaration is admitted into evidence.
I demand to be heard on this matter. There is nothing Senator Alcorn can legally say. That declaration has already been admitted. It was gathered and filed per
Senator
statute.
Daniels, will you just shut up? Consider this your second warning. If I have to issue a third, you will be asked to step down for the duration of this hearing.
Yes, my esteemed colleague. Of course. Proceed.
As Senator Alcorn has knowledge and to save time, we would like to make the committee aware that she is available to be called to the stand.
In addition to Dr. Colasi?
A panel of witnesses is allowed under extenuating circumstances.
Miss Lynn? Are these extenuating circumstances? Can you offer grounds for this request?
If it serves the committee, both Senator Alcorn and Dr. Colasi have knowledge of both the identity of MR and the circumstances surrounding his declaration, so it makes sense to allow them to speak in tandem.
Any objections from the committee members?
Absolutely there are.
Senator Daniels on
Dr.
one
Colossi is
ground
under heightened indicted status.
as she provided
it would be
incontrovertible
wrong
proof
to allow her
that
to
the first
to
declaration
wriggle out
was
of those
fraudulent. I think it
accusational-
only fair that we give her the floor to offer evidence related to the second. Do you disagree with this logic, Senator Gold?
No. No, sir, I do not.
I'm afraid then, Senator Daniels, that you are in the minority. Well then, the committee calls Senator Dawn Alcorn to the stand to join Dr. Colossi at this time.
I've never really gotten to experience this level of narcissistic rage.
Yeah? How is it?
Let's just say that I'm glad we're surrounded by specially trained officers. Daniels has a whole murderous vibe thing going on.
And Percy's calm as a tropical breeze.
She deserves it. You were right, this is fun. I want to do this all the time.
Go to inquiries?
No, make disordered personalities squirm in rage and fear.
Not so healing warrior, huh?
As long as I get to be a warrior.
I believe in turn order. It is Senator Daniels' turn to begin our questioning today.
A reminder, Mr. Chairperson.
Yes?
Senator Daniels cannot ask questions of the witnesses based on the declaration so long as the veracity of the declaration remains in question.
So noted. And so ordered.
I have no questions at this time, then.
I yield my time to Senator Gold.
Thank you. Senator Alcorn, isn't it true that you were involved in a classified operation designed to use human telepathic war criminals as subjects in a post-war research project?
Senator Gold, I remind Senator Alcorn that she is under no obligation to answer questions
It's
about
all right, and so the good Senator Everett is aware I will be answering all questions today, whether classified or not. Yes, Senator Gold, to answer your question, yes, I was involved.
How involved?
I was the co-director of the program.
That means you have knowledge of the victim listed in this declaration.
Yes, the victim is M.R., one of the war criminals held at the encampment.
Over which you were director?
Yes.
Where is M.R. now?
Deceased.
Then how could he have made this declaration?
He made this declaration before he died, while under duress.
How would you know that?
I was there.
Present in the room?
Part of the interrogation that led to this declaration.
Would you say the interrogation was conducted in an ethical way?
No, I would not say that.
Per the rules of panel witnesses, my time is ended for questions to Senator Alcorn.
Then the time is turned to...
Also, per the rules, I am now permitted a block of time to question the other witness. Am I not?
Yes, that's true. Please go ahead.
Dr. Colossi, were you aware of this interrogation to which Senator Alcorn is referring?
Yes.
How are you aware of this?
I was also there.
Why is that?
I was MR's student therapist and intern at the encampment.
And who was conducting the interrogation?
Objection! There are rules against releasing classified information while on the stand of a public inquiry.
Are there? Really? What rules stated in the procedures of this inquiry would apply such that the chairperson could enforce them, Mr. Chairperson?
Well, I know of no such rules that I could enforce as the chairperson of this committee. Now then, if the blustery Senator Daniels will remember his seat, we can continue.
No, I will not stand idly by and watch
Daniels.
Excuse me?
In response to Senator Gold's question, the interrogator at the encampment. The interrogator was my former professor, known to this proceeding as Senator Donald Mycroft Daniels.
And during the course of this interrogation...
Alcorn, I will have your head for this! I will have your seat in the Senate! You know very well what this will cost you! I will have your
Control! Coercive manipulation and threats with an intent to control!
Sonia, sit down!
This is ridiculous!
No! He just tried to use coercive control tactic on Senator Alcorn. He just tried to control her using an illegally coercive tactic under the current statute. He just broke the law.
Miss Jarrett, please take your seat.
He did! It was clear as day!
Order! Please, Miss Jarrett, take your seat. I will confer with the Empath Council.
I won't stand for this. I will not be treated this way in front of a court investigating a known gaslighter and abuser. Miss Colossi is using classified information to manipulate this court.
Silence!
I will not!
Silence! Senator Daniels, as an officer of this court, I'm placing you under arrest. The Empath Council has just verified and submitted a record of coercive control and manipulated attachment perpetrated in this very court. You have the right to silence. You'll be given representation in the form of an attorney. You have a right to assistance from the Boarded Empath section of the police force. You will be notified before you are read any heightened officers of the police or the court. Do you understand these rights as I've explained them to you?
I will not be silent. You can rely on the fact that I will not be silent while this sham of an investigation is derailed by these...
Well, where were we?
I can continue?
By all means. I have no questions, so I yield my time indefinitely. Pursue your line of questioning, Senator Gold.
Thank you, my esteemed colleague. Now then, Dr. Colossi, I wanted to ask about the reason for the interrogation that led to this declaration.
The recruit known as MR was...
It's out now, Persephone. Time we told the world.
MR was labeled as a war criminal, but that wasn't the case.
Oh? What was the truth?
He was recruited to covert operations on our side during the war to use his heightened gift to get information about the other side.
What was his heightened gift?
He was a telepath.
And who recruited him?
Special Forces War Division.
So he used his heightened gift to obtain war-related intelligence for our side, and in so doing, he was following orders.
Yes.
And after the war ended, he was labeled a war criminal. Why?
I was told that it was because the things he was commanded to do during the war were subsequently illegal during peacetime.
You were told that? Was that true?
I wasn't privy to that information.
I confirmed that it was not, in fact, the truth.
What was true?
MR was held solely because of his heightened gift.
What do you mean when you say because of his heightened gift?
The War Crimes Tribunal was instructed by Special Forces to hold him because there was a grave concern that his telepathy would allow him to gather knowledge of other non-war covert operations, so he needed to be held until his knowledge could be verified.
Why then would Dr. Colossi need to work with him?
Her exceptionally rare telepathy allows her to cross mental lines that others can't. She was trained to use her heightened gift to interrogate MR and other war criminals like him to determine if they were telling the truth about what they did or did not know.
And did Dr. Colossi extract that information?
No, she did not. Though she received a direct order to extract the information, she disobeyed that order.
Dr. Colossi, can you speak to why you disobeyed that order?
I declined to use torture as an interrogation tactic.
What tactic were you ordered to use?
Mycroft called it using the refusal. It was a method for manipulating a person's desire to say no as a misdirection while violating the line of consent without a subject's knowledge.
Had you ever used this tactic before?
Yes.
When?
Throughout training with Mycroft, and then in the beginning of my time with the recruits at the encampment.
When did your use of this tactic stop?
When I saw the outcomes. When I saw what the tactic did to those I was working with.
What did it do?
It artificially bonded them to me at first.
Bonded? How?
They were able to emotionally synchronize with me.
And that was good?
In the beginning, yes.
But not later?
Later, the tactic trauma bonded them to me. They became hyper-attached to my desires and began rejecting their own needs in order to do things to please me.
Things like what?
For example, I commented that the cactus blooms were very pretty. The next day I came into our group session room to find 13 vases filled with those blooms. and the bloodied limbs that showed all 13 of the recruits had sacrificed their hands to get the blooms for me.
That's horrible.
I agree. I didn't know that bypassing the line of consent would have such terrible consequences, but as soon as I did, I defied orders and discontinued use of the tactic.
Senator Gold, if you don't mind, I have a question.
Of course. I yield my time.
Dr. Colossi, you mentioned that you used this tactic with Senator Daniels in training. Did you become bonded with him?
Wait, is that on the question list?
Nope, that's all him.
Wow, he's my new favorite.
Yes. I bonded with Mycroft.
Trauma bonded?
Yes.
So he was guilty of subjecting you to coercive control at that time?
It wasn't illegal at that time.
Well, illegality aside, he subjected you to coercive control at that time.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Colossi. I yield my time to Senator Gold.
Thank you. Dr. Colossi, do you need a break? Are you
I'm
all
good,
right?
unless Senator Alcorn.
No, I'm good. Let's finish this.
Dr. Colossi, after you stopped using the tactics you described, what happened?
Mycroft couldn't gather the information he'd been collecting as before.
How was he collecting information prior to that time?
During training, he found that he could read me if I used the refusal with him.
So, using the refusal, as you've described it, would lead to trauma bonding with him, and it would also lead
awakening and maintaining his ability to read me beyond my line of consent.
If I'm understanding this correctly, then you were trauma bonded to him without your consent. He was also reading you without your consent, and on his orders, you were reading the recruits without their consent?
Yes.
So you'd read the recruits, and Senator Daniels was able to access that information through your trauma bonds?
Yes.
He didn't have access to that information after you defied the orders, though?
Not completely, no.
And he was displeased with that?
I think displeased is understating his feelings about my defiance. He was displeased with more than that, though. With no way to determine whether or not the recruits had hidden intel, the War Crimes Tribunal had a problem.
What was that?
If I may?
Of course.
The tribunal could not legally release the criminals, but could not legally hold them either. So another solution needed to be found.
Was a solution found?
Yes.
What was that solution?
Senator Gold, one moment.
Of course, yes, of course. I need to state in the strongest of terms that I did not agree with the solution, and like Dr. Colossi, I defied direct orders, resulting in resigning my seat on the tribunal.
So noted. What was the solution?
Dr. Colossi would be led to believe that the recruits were to be held indefinitely.
How would that work as a solution?
Daniels believed that if Dr. Colossi was given this information, she would be devastated enough that the recruits would pick up on that devastation. The 13 recruits had been working so hard to prove that they could be released, it would be difficult news to both deliver and receive that they were to be held against their will for the rest of their lives.
And Dr. Colossi was told of this plan?
Not the whole plan. She was ordered not to reveal that the recruits would be held.
Why not?
What Daniels said was that he hoped she would follow orders and keep the information secret. What Daniels actually wanted was for the recruits to feel betrayed by Dr. Colossi as she followed orders to lie to them.
Why?
According to Daniels, it was so that the recruits would use their telepathy to get this devastating news, and they would not feel compelled to resist because of how betrayed they felt by Dr. Colossi.
And was that the real intent of this plan?
No.
What was the real intent?
Daniels used his bond with Dr. Colossi to manipulate her to believe that that it would be better for the 13 to end their lives rather than remain in holding indefinitely.
Dr. Colossi, is this true?
Yes, all of this is true.
And what did you do with this information?
I did as Mycroft assumed I might. I revealed to the recruits that they were to be held, though I believed it to be classified.
Even the information about them ending their lives?
I didn't reveal that information to them on purpose, but I believe that MR was a powerful enough telepath that he caught a glimpse of that information even through my blocks. I also believe he shared that with the others.
So when Senator Daniels was interrogating MR, what was the purpose of the interrogation?
I was told that it was a final interview before I would be sent away from the encampment.
Why were you sent away?
Because I revealed classified information to the recruits.
And did you know the intent of Senator Daniels' plan at that time?
No.
So you believed you'd done something wrong?
Yes.
What happened after you left the encampment?
I received a priority classified message on November 11th of that year.
What did it say?
That all 13 of the recruits had taken their lives and that the research project could then be closed out.
When did you learn of the tribunal's real intent, that you were used as a pawn?
In the past 48 hours, while in conversation with Senator Alcorn.
Is that why you never reported the deaths or Senator Daniels' involvement?
I was told that the very existence of the 13 was classified, and I was informed by Mycroft that if I ever shared it with anyone, I would be charged with murder. The only way Mycroft could keep me from being charged was to remain silent.
Forgive me, Senator Gold. That's not the only reason.
What other reason do you know of, Senator Alcorn?
Dawn, don't. You can still preserve everything if we stop there. This is enough.
Persephone, if it can be destroyed by the truth, then it deserves to be destroyed. I asked her to maintain her silence so that my involvement would not become public knowledge and possibly interfere with my senatorial campaign.
I have a question, Senator Gold.
Of course. I yield my time.
Senator Alcorn, you say you resigned your position on the tribunal?
I did.
At what point?
When I learned of Daniel's intent to manipulate Dr. Colossi in this way. When I realized that the solution Daniels offered was both cruel and unethical.
Well, why didn't you report Senator Daniels at that time?
There was no one to report him to. The War Crimes Tribunal was the governing body regarding covert military officials. They were all in agreement about this plan. Daniels proposed the plan. They all agreed.
Even you?
No, I dissented.
No one else dissented or left the tribunal?
No.
Even though it was clear that 13 lives would be lost and the psyche of a promising, gifted clinician would be forever affected?
Yes.
And in the years since, have you and Senator Daniels ever discussed these events?
Not a word.
Have you ever opposed him in other settings?
Openly and repeatedly.
Why is that?
Because I believe he is a dangerous, malignant narcissist.
Wouldn't that motivate you to report his actions all the more?
What are you getting at, Senator?
Once you became a senator, you had more power on your side. His actions were cause for concern, yet you remained silent. Why?
Because she didn't want me charged with murder.
Say it again, Dr. Colossi.
Because she didn't want Mycroft to make good on his threat, to ensure that I was charged with murder.
And how do you know that, Dr. Colossi?
She's thinking it right now.
Thank you, Dr. Colossi. I yield my time.
I have just a few more questions.
Are these on the list?
No, and I'm loving Gold's confidence.
Dr. Colossi, if there was such a question about knowledge of covert operations and telepathy, wouldn't there have been a question about what you knew with your exceptional telepathy?
Yes. That question was of primary concern to the entire War Crimes Tribunal.
How was it resolved?
After school started that fall, Mycroft summoned me for the follow-up testing throughout the first weeks of school.
Follow-up testing?
Yes, it was really just a cover to threaten me with murder charges so I would allow Mycroft to read me and verify what I knew.
And you didn't consent to this testing?
No.
Did he find what you knew?
Yes.
Through his own abilities, or?
I finally relented to allow Mycroft to read me.
Why?
I believed that he would not stop until he could verify what I knew, and I erroneously believed that I could keep the recruits safe so long as I cooperated after my initial defiance.
Dr. Colossi, Senator Alcorn, thank you both. I have no more questions.
I think a break is in order while I confer with the committee and the Empath Council. So, we stand recess until after lunch. We'll return at 1300 hours.
Where's Persy going?
She needs to meet with Alcorn so the president can have a press conference before the next session, and she has to VidCon Addie.
Wait, where's Addie?
Dion was sick this morning. Addie's watching everything on the live stream.
The president knew?
Yes. They told her and her team last night so she could be prepared to talk about it today and so she could bring in the tribunal members for questioning.
Pheeny, I'm worried about you. I'm getting all of that pain.
She was holding all that in her head. All these years, alone. She hid it. From Addie, from me.
You didn't know?
No. I knew she had blocks. I knew she'd been through something terrible at the encampment, and I knew there were things she couldn't tell me, but...
I meant to ask, didn't you help with the question trees yesterday? Didn't she tell you then?
No. Westlee thought it would be best to keep me unaware so I would be able to answer truthfully if asked about things. I knew Persy and Alcorn planned to reveal something classified on the stand, but I didn't know that. Any of that.
Phoenix, we are going to lunch. You need to eat. And we can listen while you talk, or we can advocate while you fall apart, or we can talk about something else. Truman?
Right. Something else.
You're the worst.
I know.
Pheeny, it's okay to need us.
Thanks. And you're right. Let's go. I need to get out of this room.
Hey, it's Persy and Pheeny here. What you've just heard is a work of fiction, but we know that many listeners are living in a world of pain that isn't fictional at all.
At the end of every episode, we're going to include an appendix of sorts. Some things we hope will serve those who live with the reality of fear and pain every day.
First, we want to let you know about our website, www.empowering.tools, where we keep an ongoing list of books, websites, hotlines, and many other resources for victims and survivors of toxic relationships.
Second, we love to hear from you. If you'd like to share your story with us or let us know how the episode impacted you, we'd love for you to reach out. These are deeply emotional things, and we want to give you a chance to share. We're a small team, so an in-depth response isn't always possible, but we do read every message we receive.
Third, if you're in crisis or you need to find an immediate way out, please call 800-799-7233 for the National Domestic Abuse Hotline. If your abuser is a parent or a non-romantic relationship, there are other resources we've listed on the website that are just for you.
A reminder, emotional violence is still violence. You don't need to have bruises on your body to deserve help, and it's okay to feel what you're feeling when you call.
Fourth, be safe. For some, getting out will take planning and time. If you know you need help, do what you need in order to safely get away.
Lastly, we know how difficult it can be to believe there's hope on the other side of a toxic relationship.
Many on our team know the devastatingly difficult steps it takes to get away from an abusive predator.
But there is hope. You don't have to do it alone. If you don't have supportive family or friends, you can still find support at the hotlines we mentioned earlier or at a local hospital or shelter.
Thousands of survivors have made it out. Getting out and reclaiming your freedom can be your story.
We believe in you.
We believe in your future.
And we believe in your right to that freedom.